G'day, Michael here. It's quite cool in the workshop here, and you can see here I've got an enclosure. A lot of people ask me about the enclosure, as in, do I have an enclosure? Well, here it is. I just have it well lit internally with a LED strip, as you can see. The filament comes through a couple of holes in the top and stored above, very gloriously, as is my slurry. Okay, so I've right now got the AV56 on the platen. It's smeared on just using my finger as a guide. What happens is it shrinks back to quite thin. It's a 50% slurry. I'll just open the door. And what I'm going to do is preheat. Prepare. Scroll down. Where are we? Preheat. ABS. ABS, just tip 1. Okay, so what that's going to do is heat up tip 1 to 240 degrees and heat the bed to 100. So this is going to go, well, the thermistor on the underside is going to go to 100. The surface of the glass is a little bit cooler. But with the thing open to air from the outside, I think the temperature in here is about 14 degrees centigrade, so it's fairly cool in the office here right now. If I leave the cavity open here, the area around here gets quite a draft, because obviously the heat from the heat bed generates a lot of turbulence. The heat rises, and obviously a lot of fresh cold air is dragged in. So the anything that's sort of sticking up above the heat bed is actually being cooled quite dramatically. The other thing that happens is it takes a long time to heat the print bed. In fact, I'm going to say with a 16 degree air temperature here, the heat bed will not get to 100 degrees. Now I'm about to print polycarbonate, what's like 10% polycarbonate, ABS brew. But before I can do that, I've got to take this black ABS out of the machine. I'll do that in a second. But in any case, you see how little has changed on the temperature in that time. If I shut the door, in a few seconds you'll notice a marked increase in the speed at which it warms up. Any time now. So you can see the temperature of the bed is now 46, and it's actually a little bit quicker. And you notice it more and more as you get closer to, say, 80 degrees, it almost stalls with this airflow. So what happens is, obviously the higher the temperature goes, the slower it is to actually heat the print bed. So that naturally slows down, but if I had the door open it would probably not even get to 100 degrees. Okay, so meanwhile that AV56 has been setting, so it sets very quickly. I've got the bed up to 50 degrees and the AV56 is nearly all set. Okay, so what actually am I going to be printing? Well, I'll just go to the machine. Again, an enclosure. Very messy because it's fallen apart. Okay, that mock-up that I had shown yesterday is assembled here. I had a couple of small errors which I've tweaked. I realised that that screw location has to be on the other side. That was basically it. Oh, and it's 2% undersized. I find things shrink about 2%. That seems to be pretty accurate. Alright, so it's definitely working. The bearing's holding. And you can see I've got 3 stems on this side, so I can potentially put a bearing on either corner. I've already got the 2 opposing the other side, but it's actually a little bit too tight. It's too much resistance on this. Alright, so let's go to the computer. Sorry about the shakes. I'm sitting down here. Where's my mouse gone? There. There are the print paths. Hopefully I can zoom in enough. It's very hard to show all this, but there are a lot of lines. I'll go down through the layers so you can see it happen. I've also thickened up this main body here. I've made it 2mm thicker than the original design. Okay, so I'll just change that angle so it's a bit, you can see more of the thickness as it works its way up through the part. Okay, that's the layers. Let's go back to the original. And here's the model from the STL. So I've pretty much got my print platen laid out. I only need 3, but I've laid up 4. That's just in case if all these threads are being held with taps into the polycarbonate directly. If I accidentally damage a thread too much, by having a spare part, if something goes wrong, I automatically can just jump to the next part. So I've got a spare of each kind of part here. Anyhow, so I suppose I better get that into the printer and start printing. But I guess that's it for this video for the moment. I'll show you the assembled thing later on when I get it all happening. But yeah, well, that's it from me. Feel free to like, share, subscribe, ask a question, leave a comment. Bye for now.